Hello, hello, most dearest ones. How are you today? So I am going live. I'm not at full 55. I'm at 112. A little hesitancy on the time there. I had to have a time gap. So I am going live because I wanted to get some live readings. Hey, hey, hey. I can't see who's on. So you let me know who's on. And I'm letting you know right now that I'm going to do some live readings. Also, that I'm going to play a little bit of music in the background. Of course, the music is not my music, but I am doing some live readings right now. So let me know if you want to get a reading. I'm going to be using the Hidden Realms, and I'm going to be using Denise Lynn's Nature's Native Spirit. Okay, natives, like down deep spirit. So one thing about being on this planet is that, look, sometimes you got to get your info where you need to get your info. It might not mean exactly what you think it means. Because remember, what you think here, there's something always in reverse. There's two polarities, there's two situations, there's two things that can be going on at the same time. So I'm going to tell you that is always happening. Like always. Don't forget that part. So when we're on planet Earth, it's all about what? Ascension right now. Ascension, getting your vibe up, going up, staying up. And yes, you're gonna dip. Yes, that's gonna happen because it's supposed to happen. How you gonna stay high riding all the time? What? How you gonna be high riding all the time? Pretty soon you'll be able to do that with no problem. So me. I'm burning some sage, so you know how that goes. We not gonna let that go. We not gonna let the sage not get burned. So we know this is happening all the way, and the music is doing whatever it's gonna do because I'm not gonna worry about the music right now. But I just wanted to send some shout out and some loves to the peeps. Who's ever on live, just let me know who's on live, and I'm gonna just say hey back to you. And I'm burning some sage, and you see this beautiful sun in the background. Well, in front of me rather. I love being in front of it though, being like absorbing all of this energy and this love. Okay, so our song is on. Song that I picked, song that came to mind was Maxwell Ascension. Don't ever wonder. Don't ever wonder that that who you are inside, who you most are to be. It is not without reason. It is not without rhyme that you know who you are. You don't need nobody to verify who you are. I'm just telling you the truth. That ain't my music. That's Maxwell Ascension. And if you notice, the words on Maxwell's Ascension is "Don't you wonder." It's not just really talking about the relationship between him and a female. Not about just that. The wording is very specific, very dynamic. It goes all in talking about ascension. Sometimes as a human, you get this concept about ascension that uh, you probably don't think that you have, but you do have it. That you finally realize that ascension, what does that really mean? And if you think about the wording, ascend. So you on the ascend. But notice in descend and ascend, this SCE end is the same. It's spelled the same. So A is A, and the D is D. So when you D something, when you're D doing something, DE, you deactivating it. You know, you redoing, you undoing something. When you acing, you going up, you going forward. So notice that little bit of difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and give out this live reading right now. I'm gonna just pick the cards because pretty much that's the way that it usually happens. That I can't even just be like I'm just gonna organize it. Sometimes that organization stuff they don't let me do that. The gods, your gods, my gods, the space in between that's out here for us, that's best for us, that's our best good, our highest good. That sometimes it just don't work out like that. So I got my crystal on here as usual, which is a carnelian stone, and that's just the way it goes. So we just gonna go with that. We're gonna give it the 3 knots, and I'm shuffling these cards, telling you how much you are loved in this lifetime And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes you got to pull from these other depths to get rid of some of these fools to let them know that you ain't playing around with your life. Your life is not a toy. That this is not a game for you. That these people doing what they do, they don't know what they doing. Some of them don't know what they doing. They ain't reaching where you reaching from. You reaching from within. That's who know what they doing. So got the first card already popped out. Actually, I'm gonna tell you something. It's two cards. And actually, look, I ain't never did this before. These cards are stuck together. It didn't even let me play on that one. Just shot it out of there real quick. No hesitancy. That's what I'm telling you. This energy right now, when I get to doing these readings, it don't be a hesitation or nothing. Okay, it's just one. Feels like there's gonna be a see what I'm talking about? Feels like there was gonna be a fourth card. I told you there's a fourth card. You can't make this up. So I'm talking about ascending and everything. Remember the subject. Remember the content right now. Ascension. Let me know if you want to get a reading while I'm doing this. Look, first card. Tracker. Okay. What did I say? You have the ability, the keen sense to know who is around you, who you dealing with. Watch their behavior. You can track something from its behavior. You can tell by what something is doing or where it's going by its behavior, by its patterns, by its repetition. I'm telling you, track that information. Track, and if you look on this card, the river is flowing. You're tracing, you're tracking. When you trace something, you can track it, right? Like, you need to understand that. So I'm gonna put this card up first, and there's mountains on the side, and the river is flowing between. And if you follow a river, you can track a river too. Like, this is just like a good example of the ability to be able to track stuff. So you got the river, you can track things in your mind, you can track things. If you got the keenest sense, you can track all those things. So I'm just telling you right now that you tracking things is not a big deal. If them people doing what you don't do, them not the people for you. When you go in on the first thought process and you see that these people are doing things that you don't do, oh, you know what? I gotta go right now. I got something else to do. You know that those people are not for you. That's a cavern in there. So if you're up here on this top point, you're able to look down into this river and this flowing that's happening in front of you, these behaviors, these repetitious patterns. When you pat something, you make a signal, right? This pat in the pattern, that's a signal. That's a vibration. So know what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So here you go. Look. Tribal spirit dance. Look. The tribal spirit dance is the thing that you are. The being that you are. That's the tribal spirit dance. This being that you are is a tribal spirit dancer. Can you dance off your own spirit dance? Or do you need a bunch of people to come on and be with you for you dance your spirit dance? You can't be without them unless you do your spirit dance. You know that don't happen like that, right? You know that your spirit dance happens without anybody being around, right? You know that you the only one involved in on your spirit as a dancer. It only becomes dancers when another one is added to that. Then we have two. Did you see how we added and we multiplied at the same time? Now you can take that away too and leave the situation. You'll be the only dancer dancing. See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying. So look, next card. Ooh, and notice on this card it's got birds flying above. And actually that looks like, you know what? I can look at this real specifically. But this is like a cascade. Because look, up top you got the clouds. Down here you got the clouds. And then you got the sun in between, and there's a little dark space. So this tells me that this is correct information when I just told you, look, you got to know where you at in between all this tribal dancing. What's the concept you trying to get? Where you trying to go with this information? Do you know that being above and looking above on a situation makes you have an overstanding and an understanding that you can't get from being in the situation, being down in the desert, down in this cavern, down in there. Because when you down, you descending, right? So you got the ascend to descend. Sometimes you can descend to go on to the ascend because you're trying to figure out what's going on. So just know that part, that is a go, that does happen. So don't worry, that's on the loop. So third card, oh shoot, I told you can't make this up. Look, when you see the spirit keeper of the west, I'm telling you that's the wind. The wind coming in, you coming in, blowing some wind about, cleaning out all the debris, the garbage, the things you no longer need, the things you no longer desire. That's you getting in on that. Not even a joke right now. That's you going all in on this. Going all in on your tribal dancer, your spirit dance. I mean, just listen to this part of spirit. Spirit. Other things start with SPIR, spiral. So if you're dancing, there's a beat, there's a frequency, there's an unknown and a known frequency. You know, and you're the highest of the high of your spirit dance. You come from above and look up here on into the situation. So you ain't got to wonder about what's going on. You take a good assessment and see with this keen eye. You got these two, but with this eye, a mindful's eye, what's going on? Let's go to number 4. Dream travel. Okay, so when you do a dream travel, my peeps, my folks, you know, a dream travel is when you are asleep and you're in another realm, but you know, dreaming is not dream. Dreaming is being in another realm. Straight up. So if you're a dream traveler, you're in another realm. You are in another piece of your mindfulness. And anything got nothing to do with your mind, it's more got to do with your spirit. I must tell you that right now. And on this one, we got the water, we got stones, and we got grass all down here going into and flowing all around. So one thing about water, you got to remember, water cleanses. Why? Water gives life. Water can break things apart. Water forms things. Water can put out a fire. Water can put out a fire. Do you need to cool off a situation? Or do you need to choose not to cool off a situation and go on about your business? Think about that for a concept. So if you got those 3 concepts, actually 4, first of all, you got to track it, put a trace on it, and see what is being exhibited. Then you got to remember do your spirit dance while all that tracking is going on. And you're like, okay, we see what you doing. We see what they doing. We see what this is. We see what this situation is. We don't have to entertain it that long. Actually, the amount of entertainment time goes way down when you're doing your travel dance anyway, because you're not interested in anything else that's going on. You're only interested in what your part is. And then you blow some wind in there and clean it out. And then you find yourself dreaming about being a traveler. So look, when you're a traveler, you're going from one point of destination to another point of destination, which is like 2, and it could be more than 2 destinations, but you're starting with a 0 point, going from nowhere to somewhere. You're not starting from 1, you're starting from 0. So you know that 0 is the portal, the beginning, the all in to the end, and the beginning. So you can do a 180 or 360 from there. So 360, you're back where you started at. 180, you're only half, and you're looking at where that location is. Okay, so look, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more set of cards. Remember, I said I was gonna do the wisdom of the hidden realms cards. So I gotta take my stone off of there. And these ones, I love these because they got the pillars on it, and it's like walking into a realm itself. I just almost popped those out. Okay, we did the three knocks. We knocking. If you can feel me, just say hey. If you can, I'm saying hey for me. You ain't got to say hey, but I'm gonna say hey. Okay, we got one that popped out. Let's do another one. And I wanted to do this outside today for some unforsaken reason. I couldn't help myself. Okay, here we go. And it looks like there's popped out real quick. I'm telling you, don't take no time. They do not mess around to let you know. So let's see what the first card is. The Sacred Union. This is not a romantical situation. This is a partnership with yourself. The Sacred Union. In the partnership, are you in partner with your spirit? Are you in partner with self? Do you know yourself enough that you are partner with your spirit enough to know what is in there, what you are seeking is in there, what you know to be is in there? There's nothing else for you to seek. There's nothing else for you to be. Just be that and be encouraged with that. And don't wonder. Right, Cockwork, he said that. Don't wonder. There's nothing to wonder or wander about. You know what's inside. You know who you are. And if you don't, I recommend you to start knowing thyself. Okay, now who you are. Start practicing your K nows, which is your now. Know who you are. Know where this leads. Know where you're going. And if you don't, you better put yourself back on the knowing yourself. I'm telling you most truthfully and honestly, that's the best thing you can do for yourself. I'm telling you right now. You better act like you only get one lifetime. Just act like you're only getting one. And be in on that one. Okay, card number 2. The Hungry Ghost. Obsession, scarcity, consciousness, attachment. So look, one thing about knowing thyself, I would say the obsession of knowing thyself could be actually good one, because remember we have polarity, you know, duality, polarity. The same thing that pulls here pulls there. So if you know thyself so much that you know thyself, the other part of that is not knowing yourself. Maybe you can know something new, and that would be the non-knowing of yourself. But I'm gonna say the obsessing about knowing thyself, getting rid of these ghosts. And actually, that's a hungry ghost, because a hungry ghost would be something that will eat something, so till they can't get no more of it. So, are you the hungry ghost, or are you being a hungry ghost? Did you get what I just said? I said, are you the hungry ghost? Are you the hungry ghost? Or you something else is being a hungry ghost towards you, or at you? Something eating you instead of you eating it. That's a concept. Are you eating something and something eating you? Do you know what's going on around you? Did you just pay attention to that little flippity flop flop? The duality in that. All right. Ooh. Can't tell you enough. Can't tell you enough. Look, you can't make this up. The Shadow Queen. The light and the dark. Must I explain this one? Look. Acquiring knowledge, insecurity, manipulation. So if you're feeling insecure because of something that's going on, I'm gonna tell you, like, you know what, you know, things that make you feel so insecure, they're not necessarily true. You know that, right? Because that's fearful. You need to acquire some knowledge on that, so you ain't got to be having nothing about, oh, I'm fearful, I'm this and that. I'm insecure, I'm all the way. Really? Oh, you could just go on and just be at one with yourself and be like, no, that's gotta go with me. I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for that no more. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Because I know myself. I know who I am. I know that knowing myself is the best I can do for myself. Do you know that knowing yourself is the best thing you can do for you? Knowing you is the best thing you can do for you. Imagine that. Knowing that this is the best and that knowing yourself is the best, that there is nothing else you need to know, but knowing yourself is the best part of that, knowing yourself of the situation. Do you know that knowing yourself gets you much of being wrapped around, guard, supported, give you confidence. Your confidence level spikes up. That you don't worry about all these little penny ante little things no more. Those things don't mess with you because you know why? Because you didn't created a buffer. Your self-confidence is a buffer. The next song that's playing is Lifetime. It's by Maxwell as well. It's just on. But I'm gonna tell you in this lifetime that creating confidence, building confidence, building upon what is there, laying a great foundation for who you most know yourself to be is undoubtedly the best thing you can give yourself. Undoubtedly the most going forward you're going to give yourself. There's nothing else you should think that, oh, I'm just not enough. No, you are enough. Know thyself. Know who is in there. Know what you enjoy. Know who you are. Know who you want to be. If there's anything you want to change because you think that, okay, maybe I need to know that. Maybe. And once you know it and you get the sense of what it is, and if you don't like it, guess what? You're the creator of your reality right now. You're the creator, so guess what? You don't have to worry about that happening. You don't got to worry about nothing else being around, nothing else being for, nothing else coming around because you confident, and you can just do this. Look, clean it off your shoulder and brush yourself off because it's not needed. It's not warranted. There's nothing else to know about it. This lifetime, can you know that what you know about yourself will push you forward, push you in all directions of comfort, peace, direction, non confusion, prosperity, abundance, forward, clarity in the mindfulness, clarity in all aspects. Because even if something that comes along is not a clarity, it will be clear to you what the part is that you're wanting to not be a part of and what you need to be a part of or what needs to be a part of you. So I must tell you, know yourself. Know thyself. No one can come along and tell you where you're going. No one can get in your car. No, wait a minute. You can't give nobody your car keys and tell them where to take you without you. So if you didn't give somebody the car keys to your vehicle, which is this one, I'm gonna tell you, you need to go get your car keys. You don't even have to explain. Get your car keys, put it in your pocket, and get back in your own car. Matter of fact, don't say nothing. Lock the doors and drive off. What a concept. Get in your own car and drive off. Roll up the windows. Roll up the windows, lock the doors, and vamoose. Pull a ghost stack. I'm just telling you. That's what I hear. That's what I know. All these cards are just matching about being the dancer in your life, being the light and dark, the polarity in your life, and about you knowing yourself. You know, if I do this, this gonna happen, or if I do that, that's cause and effect. But knowing that you're this and you're that, or knowing that I'll do this and I won't do that. Anybody that knows you is gonna know what you do. If they really know you and they really understand you and understand you, they're gonna know what you're gonna do. They're gonna know that, ooh, nope, you can't go over and do that over there. And there will be unspoken respect. You won't have to tell them. You won't have to tell them to respect you. You won't have to tell them any of these. All those things go to waste. They go laid to the side. It'll be unspoken. It'll be unwritten. It'll be a known respect. without words because you're in the space. Because the space of you and knowing thyself creates that space, creates respect, creates much regard. Even if somebody doesn't agree with you, they still gonna respect what you say. Because knowing thyself gives that such great confidence. I cannot tell you any much more than that. But there's one thing about confidence, confide, self confidence. So yourself, your spirit confiding inside, you confiding with yourself about who you most know you to be. And once you know that, there won't be nothing else for you tell anybody to be like, oh no, um, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Oh yes. Oh yes. No, you gonna know. And there's nobody's gonna be able to come along and cast doubt. They won't be able to speak these spells and cast doubt on you and cast all these waves on you. Because you're gonna be like, shh. And that little hand gesture that I just put up, sent a whole block. So no, we're not doing that today. No. And pretty honestly, you won't even have to do that. Your face will be just be like, let me go on this way because I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. Do you know what you doing? Look, I ain't got to worry about what you doing. I got to worry about what I'm doing. And I ain't saying worry in the sense that I'm worried about what I'm saying. Worry in the sense that I know what my business is. And I know where I'm going. That in there is self-confidence, self-confiding. And when you confide in something or you're confiding in a person, if you notice that word itself, you're telling the most deepest dark part of yourself, the most significant, powerful part. Because in the dark, there are things that you know about yourself that no one else will know. Period. And the only way they'll know is pretty much if you show them or tell them. And if you don't do that, guess what? I guess they won't know. And if they haven't known you this much to know what's going on with you, I'll be like, how many minutes you got to waste on that? How many minutes you gonna use that? The song is Maxwell again. It's just this whole little row. I'm telling you, how many you can't get none of this time back, right? You can't do get none of this time back. But you can jump through a portal and get some time and do something else. But if you going on a human time, you can't get none of these minutes back. You can undo some minutes probably and redo some minutes. That's about the best you're gonna get at this juncture, this juncture, this juncture, the center, the zero. Choose thyself. At fork, this fork in the road, choose thyself. Make a choice to choose thyself. And when choosing thyself, the the energy of choosing thyself, the confidence of knowing thyself and doing thyself and completely being in thyself, that will expand you. Expand the whole area around it. It'll be clear. You'll have much clarity. I'm just telling you, that's just the way it is. You got to use all your might. I just heard him say might. You got to use all your might. Use all your might to know thyself. And once you get that, then shoot, you gonna use that might. The might that you're gonna use is gonna be so minute, you ain't gonna need it for anything else. It's just that you gonna know that you know that you know. Tell you, do you know that you know that you know yourself? Do you know that you know thyself? Like, do you know that? Do you know whence forth you are, you're in, where you come forth, where you goeth, where's your beginning and end? It's all wrapped in one circle, all wrapped, all in one center. The center. just in a center. I'm telling you, it's all in the center. Not joking with you. It's so serious. These are the things I talk about the most. You got to know your center. You got to know your 0 point. You got to know when you're on the ledge as far as you are. And when you do, you can pull back and you can jump off and be like, I'm just going to jump to this other room over here. I ain't got time for this. Excuse me. And if I don't say excuse me, guess what? I'm out. You got to love yourself enough to know that knowing thyself is the truest, most of the truth for you. We're not including anybody in on this subject, on this piece, none of that. When you know yourself, when you in a relationship or not in a relationship, when you with friends, whoever you are with, you know enough to know them because you know your choices are the most wisest of choices for you. How about them, their apples? Your choices that you have made have the choices that you have been because you picked those choices. You chose those choices as to be the most best, highest, divine choices for you. And look, if they have yucky situations behind them, guess what? You were able to be more and do more outside of that situation. You didn't have to worry about it. What was you going to be worried about? What were you going to be concerned about? Nothing, because you made the most wisest of the wisest of choices for thyself. And I can't tell you no more than that. And once you start knowing yourself, knowing thyself, nobody can be able to come on and kick a box in front of you. Be like, oh, you ain't gonna be shook by a box. A word, 2 words. You're gonna go in when you need to and come out when you need to. You got to know that. You got to know that you're going in and coming out is your choice of who you are. You got to understand that this, or at least know that this, this being of knowing thyself is strong and mighty. Strong and mighty. Mightiness. Knowing thyself, mighty, powerful, oneness within. But the within and the without are the same. The strength of the barriers that you have circled around you are the same. Same as in and without. And if they not, you better build them up. You better get strong. You better push the muscles forward. And I'm not just talking about these. I'm talking about your inner capabilities and ability to see that, to know that. I'm telling you that this is the most powerful words of the day. Is know thyself and be thyself. Enough to know that you are the one that controls your ship, your cars. You have no idea how powerful those words are, how inclusive those words are, how much those words include you and they don't include anybody else. That your keys are your keys and nobody has the right to take the keys. You ain't giving them up, so guess what? They can't have them. You ain't giving them up, guess what? They don't get to have them. They don't even get to come over here and be like, oh, can I have your keys? No. You cannot have my keys. These are my keys. This is my vehicle. Who are you to tell me how to run this vehicle? Are you putting food in this belly, in this tummy, in this mind? Are you, even if you are, guess what? You still don't have the right to say nothing about this vehicle. I know we don't do it to our kids because, we feel like we have a right to. Notice what I said. I said we feel like we have a right to do that. We feel like it. Choose your words wisely. So I'm just saying, look, after all is said and done, you're the only one that's running this ship. You're the only one that's going to say who, what, when, why, and wherefore cometh. Do thy. You can't come past the master or the show enough of who you are. Because you and yourself with rightful rights are a master of who you are. Master who you are. This is what I'm telling you. Master who you are. And even when you think you've mastered it, guess what? There's always something else that you don't know. You got to know a lot about a little bit. Imagine that. Imagine knowing a lot about a little bit. And knowing that even that a lot about a little bit is just a, a tap on the surface that you believe you have still dove so deep into. I'm just saying that's a lot to say. So the numbers that we got today, the number 5, the number 9, and the number 7, look, 9 is completion. Right? You know that, right? The complete who you are. And then once you complete that, complete again. Because sometimes you got to undo and redo a bunch of things that you've been told that you thought you were told about yourself. And that you thought you told yourself. You did you miss that? No. You got to undo them things, some of them things that you have told yourself about yourself that you have not delved deep into to master who you are. You do not doubt for who you are. You can assess, but you can never, all that doubting is just like a fearful tactic. It's like a battle. It's like a chess move. I'm going to doubt this. I'm going to doubt that. When you hear somebody saying they doubt this and like that, how much stock are they putting into it? Zero. Another circle. They just standing in the middle of that situation and going, I doubt it. 2 zeros on top of zeros. So if you put 2 zeros on top of zeros, you got a bunch of infinities, a bunch of portals, a bunch of beginnings, a bunch of endings, everything happening all at the same time. Are you confident in that? Do you know your confidence? Know thyself and you'll know your confidence. Know what you're going to do, because can't nobody tell you what to do when you know what you do. You know what to do. And even if you don't know what to do on a new situation, you're going to know what yourself is going to say and what yourself is going to do once you get a hold of the situation. I'm just saying, like, for real though. Like, there's nothing else to say about that. Like that, you know thyself to know thyself. So I'm going to burn some more sage as an ender, which I never do. But I feel like doing something a little different. Making all these circles, clearing up your air, so to speak, so you can take a deep breath in on the next wave, on this next wave that you're going through, that you are journeying into, that you have placed your feet upon, that you know thyself. Truest form of knowing thyself. And with much great responsibility, so cometh that of knowing thyself. It's not a joke. That's the real thing. It could be a joke if you wanted to, but it's not a joke. So I will be having another live going on really soon. Actually, they really go random. They really are just different. But don't worry, we will have another session time. It is most important that you just be encouraged and be filled up with much confidence. Be raised up in knowing thyself. Be raised up in that. Be within that. Rise within that. So much love in that. So much respect for respect for you, respect for who you are. You got to get a little narcissistic on it. Because you know why? Because if you don't, who gonna toot your horn better than you? I'm just saying, you know somebody that's gonna do better than you are? I don't think so. So as I say, enjoy your smelling your moon and stars. I'm gonna have the links for personal private confidential sessions. It's gonna be at the bottom of my Etsy store. And I have new items coming up. So as I say, Atma, namaste, my peeps, and enjoy your sun, your moon, your rising, and your stars.